Steve Marn is one of the UK's top 10 life coaches and has helped thousands of people with a variety of problems. Luckily for Teachers TV, Gladina is on hand to respond to some of the requests for help from stressed support staff, tired teachers and harried heads.
Head teacher Steve called me this week because he's just not getting his career on path, and it's not surprising because he never finds any time to think about it. Well, have a look.
Hello, I'm Steve Boyce. I'm the head teacher at Foss Primary School, and I really think I need some support and some advice on where to go next, what to do in terms of my career, and getting myself more organised about my own life. I think some people would say I'm a bit of a martyr and I give everything up. I don't try and do that intentionally, but I really think that maybe I need to actually be a little more selfish, and I'm looking for some advice about finding time in a busy schedule so that I can look at the future for myself. I think my friends, my family and my colleagues would slate me, quite honestly, in terms of my lifestyle and my work-life balance. But I love the job I do, and I think I'm making a real difference in children's lives, and I think that's really important.
As deputy, my perception of Steve's work-life balance is that it's very much like a seesaw, but there's no balance. The seesaw is tipped down the bottom.
I'm 5 years into being a head teacher. I think I'm doing the job okay, or quite well. And there's always room for improvement, and I'm always looking for new opportunities and things. But I've actually got to now try and find time and really start to explore what possibilities there are out there for future development, further development, where I go next with my career.
Well, I think I'd better get off to Leicester and help Steve to make himself a priority, or he's never going to get that career sorted.
Hi there, Gladina. Welcome to Foss Primary.
Thank you, Steve. Pleasure to be here.
You're very welcome. Let's go in.
Great.
Come this way, Gladina. It's very interesting you've come today. I've got someone from the National College of School Leadership come to talk to me about career progression and where I'm going with my career. It's an interview. Would you like to come in on that?
I'd be delighted. Thank you.
That'd be great. This way then.
Great.
Can you tell me how the East Midlands College supported you? And can you tell me also where you see your future career going?
Yes, I did my NPQH through the East Midlands Learning Centre about 5 years ago, just over 5 years ago now. And I'm looking now for the next step of studying and working with the National College. Now I'm sort of settled into headship, as it were.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm looking at for my next stage of my career. How's your rash going now, all right?
Fine, it's just clearing up now.
Oops, Mr. Boyce drops it there. We ready? Well done. Remember to collect the medicine from the cabinet. Come on, folks, here you go. And on the second. Who would you like this music to start?
So what are you up to now, Steve?
Locking up after evening activities with Dina.
Is that the sort of thing a head teacher does? Shouldn't you delegate?
I would do, except 2 evenings a week. It's a bit of late work for me in the office, and our caretaker goes at 6, so I don't mind it. It's not that bad, really. I can actually get my head down and do some work in the office, and uninterrupted work.
I'm not sure about that. Come on, let's have a chat.
Okay, then.
Well, Steve, thank you very much for sort of taking me around and let me look at your whirlwind existence here, because that's what it feels like. So what would you like from me?
I suppose I'd like you to give me some advice on how I can find some time for me. Not for me selfishly, but for me to think about studying further, moving on from headship, where I go next. But I think I need time to do that.
Absolutely. Now, I've got some ideas about where I think that time's going, but I'm going to ask you first, what do you think gets in the way?
I would say incessant bureaucracy, but I think every head in the country will tell you that. So we can't do anything about that. Just the amount of time I spend in school in any one week. with doing 2 late evenings a week and a Saturday morning.
As I've sort of followed you around, I mean, I suppose one of the things that I've picked up is that there's this thing about delegating, because you
Yes.
seem to do an awful lot of things that really, I do wonder where they ought to be in your remit.
Yes, I would suggest that as well, that there are things that I should not be doing and I would love not to be doing, but then I look behind me to find a team of me. Now, that's not criticising the staff at school, because they have all got their role. They're working full-time and flat out doing their job. I share as much as I can with my deputy head. She is an absolute stalwart and brilliant, but again, she has a 4-day-a-week teaching commitment, half a day PPA time and half a day deputy head admin time. So it is hard as to find who else that can give out the medicine, lock up after sports clubs, all those things, who can do it without extra funding coming into school. And it's all about money, I'm afraid.
All of those things that you said are absolutely right and absolutely true. However, how much of your time do you spend sitting on maybe staff committees and things like that you could actually pull out of and let the staff run them?
Right, yes, that's quite interesting. I am slowly doing that, so that is releasing me. Yes, from some of those more mundane tasks I don't need to be at all the time. It still doesn't mean I don't consider health and safety to be important. I do, but I don't need to be at every meeting of the Health and Safety Committee.
And I think that's it, Steve. You see, I think you're very efficient in what you do, and I think there are some areas where, to be perfectly honest, if you don't do it, nobody else will. So I think that's absolutely true. However, I think what we are talking about is maybe these kinds of areas where, understandably, as a new head, you've kind of come in and you've kind of wanted to get things up and running, and you've needed to be the catalyst, but now you don't.
I think you're absolutely right, and we're looking at that as a new management team. The strategic leadership team are looking at levels of delegation at our next meeting. So we actually got a hierarchy of levels of delegation, we're calling it.
So I think, Steve, that where we are now is that, okay, it's about encouraging you to really speed up, if you like, that hierarchy of delegation and get that in place as soon as possible. But then maybe for us to sort of stand back a bit and have a look at your career. Because I know I saw you sort of earlier when you were, talking about the last 5 years, if you like, and I suppose I was struck with, well, where would you like to be in the next 5 years?
I don't know. I really don't know. That's the thing, because I don't know what possibilities are out there for a serving head teacher. I'm really enjoying being at this school. I don't want my staff here to start getting wibbly and think, oh, he's going.
Sure.
But I think in the next 3 to 5 years, yes, I do need to be thinking about where is next.
Maybe between now and the time I come back, you will have delegated some of those tasks to those committees now, so that you won't be on them.
Okay.
That will save you the time, so that when I come back, you can tell me all about the bits of research you have managed.
I shall try and do that for you,
because I think that
really will, yes. I think what you're saying is absolutely right. Isn't it funny, you just need someone else to tell you what you already know and confirm what you already know. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Right then, Nadina, thanks so much for coming. It's been really interesting today. Thank you.
Well, it's been my pleasure. It's a great school. You're a great guy. But remember, I'll be back, so I want to see some changes.
I will make those changes.
See
Thank
ya.
you. Bye-bye.
Well, that was jolly interesting on 2 counts. The first count being that sometimes, as in the case of Steve, you need someone from the outside to say the things that you've been thinking. It kind of validates them. But I think the other part of it is that Steve's a fantastic example of someone who's really nurtured a good, learning, supportive environment, maybe a little bit to his own detriment. And what he's learning now is that it's time to let everyone grow up, it's time to let go. So when I get back, I'm going to see where they've got to.
Well, as you can see, I'm surrounded with paperwork still, but I'm finding a few moments to myself, and I am delegating tasks, Gladina, like you asked, and I find a few moments to myself to go on the internet, to look up what the National College of School Leadership has got in terms of heads that have been in post for 5 years and their continuing professional development. lots to do and don't seem to be getting a moment to myself at the moment. So, sorry Gladina, not doing too well. Things look as if they're really developing on the outside learning activities, and so I'm really happy about that. So it looks like good developments for the school.
3 months later, is Steve heading in the right direction?
Well, Steve, it's been a little bit of time since I've been here with you at your lovely school. And when I was here last time, we were talking about you and your development and being a bit more assertive, etc. So I left you with some strategies. How's it been going?
Not all easy, but helpful. I've been thinking about those things and trying to put them into practice. Not 100%, I'll be very honest with you. I have found more time for myself.
Great.
Delegated more tasks to people, and enjoying the time that frees up for me and for my family. And it's enjoyable being more assertive about things. It gives you more time to think about things, and it's not just about giving orders. It's about empowering other people, because actually they quite like it as well. So I'm not doing everything.
Okay.
99%, but not everything.
Well, it sounds like there's, you've got quite a bit there that you've got on top of. So, but tell me about this 1% then that you haven't.
I think I'm still a person that likes to appease people and say yes. I find it incredibly hard to say no to people. I suppose it's everyone's nature to be liked and be wanted, and saying no is hard. So yeah, I'm trying, but not all the time.
Well, and I think the other thing, Steve, is, you are that kind of a person. You're a very warm, very giving kind of a guy, and therefore it is going to be hard for you, I think, because you have a natural tendency to want to be an I can do person.
Yeah.
However, I guess what you're saying is pretty realistic, which is you are tackling it. It's never going to be a kind of 100% thing.
No.
You will say yes sometimes, and that's okay, as long as you're in the driving seat.
Yeah, and I think people are a bit surprised to begin with when you do say no as well. Ooh, it does hit them, and to actually have a bit of friction, I think it's going to make school better. That little bit of friction. And, the analogy I use is you don't get a pearl without that little bit of grit.
Exactly.
So I've got to remember and hold on to that gem. And I am enjoying the time to be able to research things on the computer. And challenges ahead. So,
Great. And you've been thinking about you and pushing yourself forward.
Yes, about where I go with further qualification, further study. So yes, I'm looking into that actively.
That's wonderful. Well done. Steve, it's been a real pleasure.
Thanks so much, Gladina, for coming, and look forward to seeing you again. Look forward to seeing you on television one. Thanks for your advice and help.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Be well.
And I might be back. Take care.
Thank you.
Love.
Bye. Hi there. As a footnote to the production, just to let you know, I've just come back from an exciting meeting with the local authority, and we're going to be redeveloping Foss Primary School as a new school on a new site as part of the Riverside redevelopment here in Leicester City. So it looks as if I'm going to have my work cut out for me over the next couple of years with some enjoyable and interesting challenges.